also resisting arrest. The Brooklyn Park Police Department has very limited minor infractions or contacts with this individual. None of them are related to sexual crimes. We have been made aware of accusations against this individual for previous offenses involving criminal sexual crimes. With that said, I'll stand for questions.
Do you happen to know, did the family give any further information about what exactly, kind of how it played out at the park? Did the suspect lure the child into the porta potty? Did he follow him in? Do you know?
We are working on that. Because of the age of the victim in this case, it is very sensitive to work with that child at that age to make sure that we get accurate information from them. So we use people that are well trained to do that work. And so there will be special interviews done with that child to figure out exactly what took place.
And you said you got a tip from someone who lives nearby. Was the tip that they had seen someone who fit the description and knew where they might be? Or how were they able to help you guys track this person down?
Yeah, I just will tell you that the tip was very specific, that they believed the individual was responsible for it, that they knew the individual was at the park at the time that this crime occurred, that they had matched the description and had some previous history of similar accusations of conduct like this.
It seems like a really quick resolution in this case. Were you pleased that the community was able to help and that your department was able to work so quickly to find this suspect?
Yeah, as horrific as this crime was, we're extremely happy the way our community responds. We have a great community here in Brooklyn Park, and they are very united, and it is no surprise to us that when we call them to action to be able to help us find suspects and make our community safe, our community stepped up, and we're very proud of them.
And the family, I know you said you've been in touch with the family. Were they relieved to learn that this suspect was arrested, or what was their reaction today?
Yeah, I believe they are very relieved. They're very cooperative. They've been very helpful from the beginning and very supportive of our work, and our condolences going out to them.
Do you happen to know, was he a stranger to the family? Did they know him at all prior to this?
Yeah, no, he is a complete stranger to the family.
And is there any reason to believe that there might be other victims at this park, or is there anything you want people to report to you?
I believe just out of due diligence, as we should, if we frequent that park, we should be talking to our children to make sure that they weren't victims and make sure that nothing inappropriate happened. We don't have any specific information to believe that he has victimized any other children, but we want to make sure that we encourage our community members to speak to their children, especially if they frequent that park, to make sure that they weren't victims.
So the prior accusations, were they people that he knew, and were they adults?
I can't get into those details because they're accusations and we need to investigate them.
Does he live in the neighborhood?
He does. He lives very close to the park.
And you said that he's 18 years old?
He is 18 years of age, yes.
So with those prior accusations, were they made when he was a minor?
You know, because he's so close to turning from 17 to 18, I don't know if it was or not, but that'll be part of the investigation that's going on right now with our detectives.
Did the suspect say anything? Did he admit to the crime, or did he give any explanation for what happened?
I just tell you the suspect is extremely uncooperative with police.
Where was the party being, the family party being held? Was that at that pavilion that's kind of over in that corner of the park?
That was my understanding, yes.
How shaken was it in that neighborhood, Mark?
You know, they're very shaken. I think as us as law enforcement professionals, as a father, I was shaken, to be honest with you. I mean, this is a horrific crime, and the community showed up at a community meeting that we hosted and expressed that, but they're very supportive of our work. They're very supportive of their contributions and checking their cameras, talking to their neighbors, and so they came together, and I think from the emails I got today, they're extremely happy about the resolution.
It was quick, Mark, and I missed the very beginning. I apologize. But what was it? What was the piece of evidence, or what quickly led you to this guy?
Yeah, we received a tip last night after they had seen it on TV at one of the newscasts that they immediately identified that they believed that they knew who that person was and immediately called the police department to give us that information. We good? All right.
Do you want the community to know?
So I think we're good there. Do you want me to identify him, or do you guys just want to take a picture of the shot? Obviously, it's public, so you can take a screenshot with your camera, or you can take a picture, and I can also give you the name verbally if you want to use that.
Why don't you verbally say it?
Sure. The suspect that was arrested this morning has been identified as Jonah Paul Canny, C-A-N-N-Y. He's an 18-year-old male. His date of birth is 1/10 of 2003.
What were some of the minor infractions prior? Were they things like,
A minor traffic infraction and a very minor theft infraction is the previous contacts that we've had. Sure.
does he have any known mental illness?
Unable to get into that at this time.
And again, Mark, just given the nature of what he's accused of here, you would maybe ask parents in this area to take a close look at this face?
Yeah, absolutely. And just as important is make sure that they talk to their children about anything that may have gone on at the park in the recent past. If they frequent that park, we want them to speak to their children just to make sure that there's no other victims out there that we need to know about.
How often does Brooklyn Park PD deal with something like this, where there's this horrific sex crime involving a child and it's a total stranger to the family? That seems like it's a relatively rare situation.
Yeah, thankfully it's incredibly rare. We just don't generally see these types of crimes. And I think that's part of why when we hear about them, it shakes all of us. To have a stranger that does something to a child like this is extremely concerning, and it's one of the reasons why we put so many resources to resolve it, why we reach out to the community to partner with them to resolve it, and I think that's part of the success that we see here today.
Any tips for families who have little kids who want to go to the park and play?
You know, the only tips would be what always parents should be doing is keep an eye on your children. It's just the world we live in today, and have your children close. And I would say that actually in this case, that did occur. I mean, it does only take a fraction of a second, unfortunately. And so it's making sure that everybody in the family knows where the children are and keep a close eye on them. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Does anybody need one snapshot of this? Otherwise, I'll take it with me. All right.
Did you get the shot? Can I take that, Mark?
Yeah, you can take the whole thing as long as it's right on the back.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. Have a good weekend, guys. I know, it's bad. That's why I'm really glad that we resolved it so quickly, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't just have my guys here organized, got here.
Yeah.
Tracy down in jail.
And the county just
Charged by Monday.
Tuesday, Monday's a holiday, so
Oh,
we're
right.
not on Tuesday, so, yeah. We'll file our authority to detain and then judge will sign, and we'll figure
Is it
it
the CIC one?
Yep, one, yep. And resistant arrest.
Oh, and resistant.
That's what he's being held on now.
Is there kind of a?
He just was uncooperative and there